This is Lauren.
This is Trey.
And this
is the Partnership Podcast.
So we had a disagreement, really which rooted in unmet expectations. And I was really proud of us that it didn't turn into something bigger, if that makes sense. Where, yes, there was disappointment, there was hurt, but it was shared and it was owned. Enjoy.
Good morning, baby.
Hey, good morning.
What do you want to talk about today?
Can we talk about Sunday? Is that okay?
Yeah, I don't know what was Sunday.
Sunday was the miscommunication, whatever you want to say it, with going to the store.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's beautiful is when we work through something enough that I can't even remember.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you've been remembering.
No, that is literally the definition of like it has truly been resolved where you can't remember it and you fall each other's arms and I don't know, you make love or you giggle or you laugh. That's true. Like we've completed the circle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think I then took extra time even to really look at what went wrong, like what went down, and how not to replicate that again.
Yeah, because Monday, Tuesday, you came to me and you said, "Hey, I've been doing this pattern. That's not cool. That's on me. My bad."
That's not cool. I don't like that. So talk about it from your angle. What did I do?
It was Sunday. You were working that day. There was a lot going on in the Lauren world where she was finishing up work, and I think it was day one of menstruation.
It was like almost menstruation, so that's premenstrual time.
And
lots of feelings.
Lauren has been encouraging me to say, hey, I need help, like for me to ask her for help. And whether or not she can give it is completely up to her, which I love, but to utilize her as a super valuable resource. So she was going out to the pool, and we're going over to best friend M's house. We're going to do margaritas. And so I said, babe, can you pick up do you have capacity, like to pick up the tequila for the margaritas, and can you go to Walgreens because I think I have a bug in my ear? And she said, yeah, no problem. And when you left the house, I just said, hey, reminder about Walgreens, because I was exercising the can you asking for things, which is difficult for me to do. And you gave a pause. And you said, does it need to be done today? And I think, did I say yes?
No, I think you said, if possible, yes, but no, it does not.
In my mind, I was like, it's on the way. Like, I've set you up for success. And also I would have done it like hours ago. That's what was going through in my mind. But I kept all those inside. Yeah.
And then what happened? Keep going.
You went to the pool, like the community pool, and came home with thank you for getting my ear stuff and no tequila because you ran out of time. And then like coming into the house, you're like, yeah, you were explaining it. And I listened. I go, okay, great. And we got in the house and you go, I feel like you're disappointed in me. Take it from there.
Can I give back stuff, or you want me to just pick it up from right there?
Can you pick it up from there and then we'll go back?
Yeah. Could sense your disappointment. I also was disappointed with self because I had not fulfilled my sense of obligation and was already at max capacity of everything of that day, of that weekend, of that week. And we sat at the dining room table or the kitchen table, and you shared how you had been looking forward to, tequila margaritas, and that this was something that we had been planning, and that you were disappointed. And I think I said, I'm sorry. I don't know.
Yeah.
And you shared the Walgreens thing, that wasn't too much. And I don't know I can't remember now how much clarity I had. So I'm fine if you keep telling the story, because I'm curious if it felt like I took ownership or not. I know how then we resolved, but how did it feel in your body? Did you feel like I was sitting with it or making excuses, or you did share, I think,
it felt in my body after it happened where I was like, is it actually safe to ask you for things? Like,
And you shared it then.
did I just get set up to fail? That's what it felt like in my body, where it's like, wait a minute, I'm doing the thing that's uncomfortable for me, but I'm getting hit with, for the better or worse, a lot of emotions of my wife is hurt.
Yep.
Whether or not I've caused that, I don't
job.
really know, but I'm getting hit with emotions of my wife is hurt and stressed out and I'm involved.
Yep.
And it's like, fuck.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yep. And I think you voiced it right then. And I was very able to see that. At some point in here, had the moment of, hey, I should share my resiliency. So I think I did. I think I said,
At
hey,
that time, yes.
right? Don't you
100%.
think that?
You were like a 1.
I was like, babe, I need to just be really clear with you. I'm a 1. I did not anticipate client homework to take so long today. I am about to start my period. And so I have the accompanying amplification of all of the emotions. And I want you to know that this has nothing to do with you. And so then I got to talk about, yes, I bet you did see that reaction when I heard about Walgreens. And that was because of my own hermiting desires. And will something else, how am I going to get what I need today? That had nothing to do with you. But I was like, oh, I bet you saw that. And you said, yeah, I did see that.
Going back, say if your resilience, did I need to do a resiliency check-in with you before asking you for those things? And also you volunteered for the tequila too, where you're like, I got this, I'm going to lead it. So then it kind of, like at that time, I was like, fuck. Because I had high resiliency all day. I was just running around doing tasks and it was fun for me. And one of the things that I would have gladly done, which I shared with, is lead that. But you wanted to lead it. What was your resiliency then? What was your resiliency when you left the house? Or more specifically, what was your resiliency when I asked you if I could add Walgreens to the thing?
Then 0.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and this was what I spent time journaling on because I don't think that's okay. I'm a firm believer that if our lives are draining us like that, we got to change. Like we're change makers. We're not victims in our own stories. Like, no. And so at that moment, at the Walgreens moment, 0. And so it had nothing to do with task or this or that. It had everything to do with I think in my bones, wish that Sunday could have been a Sunday. Like Sundays are usually my day off. Sure. And so it's like, absolutely, let me get that on my way, blah, blah, blah. I think I had been caught off guard by the length of time it took to do the things that I needed to do. I think I shared this with you, but I was struggling with anger itself because Saturday, instead of staying inside, getting everything done, spending well into the evening, doing my things, instead, I went to the pool and then I think you and I went out. Yeah. Fun, delicious, wonderful. But as a small business owner, you don't just get to leave work early on a Friday and then come back on Monday. You have to do the things that you didn't do on your Friday. It just doesn't work like that. Especially I give 10 million fucks about this business, in running it well. And as every business owner knows, I stumbled into things that needed to be fixed, all this type of stuff that you had no comprehension of. And in the grandest of schemes of things, it wasn't bad at all. We were sitting outside together. I was watching you, work on the shed while I was doing climate homework. Yeah. I was sipping coffee. My phone was in my room. It wasn't I wasn't suffering. I was just tired. I was really tired and premenstrual. Yeah. So, no, you didn't need to check in resiliency. I don't know. I could have shared.
Yeah. What would you do? What would you do differently if you could go back?
What I spent some time working through is what needs to be done at the end of a work week, personally and professionally, to be who I want to be for my people, specifically you. And I realized that I need mandatory decompression time and that I need to be better at speaking that into existence so that you, my lover, don't read it as, oh, I can't ask for things. That we read it instead as, this is what Lauren needs to then be able to be a person who can be asked of for things. Because what my body reads it as, and this is not you, is that I have been serving. What no one sees, right, when I'm sitting there working, is I am serving. My brain is in the heart and mind of every client for all of those hours that I'm working on these things. Yay, what a joy. So when I don't take that decompression time, what I can do in my nasty, this is, what do you always say? Like, this is not logical or whatever. This is, right? Is then it shifts to you like, oh, one more thing.
It's from a place of unhealth.
Yes. So then it's like, oh, now he asks for something too. Mm-hmm. You could have been Joe Schmo on the street asking for something, and I would have been like, huh. But take those two things. You're working on asking for shit, and then I react like that. Not okay. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's not safe. I'm not a safe person.
Would you wanted to, if going back, would you have wanted to share your resiliency with me at that time, the time of leaving? Because I did ask timeline. Mm-hmm. It was a few hours prior. Can you go to Walgreens while you're on your way to the pool and the ABC store? And you said, sure, no problem.
Wow. I don't even remember the earlier time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a reminder.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't even remember the early time.
Yeah, okay.
Again, I think we talked about
your resiliency was at a 0.
It was at a 0.
When it's, shit, can we set an automatic notification on our minds where it's like if resiliency at a 1 or a 0, there's almost like a ding that goes off?
Yeah, because I think what I could have done is probably like come stand in your arms and hold you and smell you.
Yeah.
And like I could have done a grounding exercise with you legitimately. And let go of my little, what I go to is like toddler temper tantrum. Like, yep. I need my time.
I get it.
It's really not logical, but it is an alarm in my head when I start to feel it. And I need hermit time, like need it. And if I don't get it, I can't be my best self for all of my people. And, yeah. Yes, I think that's a good idea. Like just kind of setting if we're at a 0 or a 1, it's like, hey, 0 or 1. Yeah. Can, what's your capacity to do a nurturing breath exercise with me? Or can I sit on the ground for a second? Or can I share what I think will get me to a higher number?
Yeah.
So what was beautiful is sitting there at the dining room, the kitchen table, when I did come home without the tequila, we had a beautiful little convo.
About 5 minutes.
Yeah. What do you remember? How do you remember we pushed in and through? I shared resiliency. You shared resiliency.
Mm-hmm. I shared the level of disappointment.
Yeah.
Which was at a 2. Like, who cares? I was not, you've ruined the evening. It was not a 5 out of 5 in my mind. It was like, okay. Because also I kind of worked out I closed the loop pretty quickly. Where I was like, because it is disappointing. Where it's,
and you get to be disappointed.
Where the entire day I was at a 3 to 4 resiliency. I was running around. I was a little task rabbit. And it was great. Yeah. I was having a great Sunday. So I go, I asked to do this. Right. I can clearly do this. I don't need you to do this.
Right.
So once I kind of got all that through, then I was like, okay, yeah, we pivot off. You got a bottle of champ. I got Coors Lights. We sound like alcoholics. We're alcoholics. And we're not alcoholics. We're alcoholics. And so it was a 2 out of 10. Excuse me, it was a 2 out of 5. Once I sat down and I kind of checked in with myself. And then I just kind of relayed these things to you. And it's a very fine line that I have to walk around when it's 0 resiliency Lauren and then I'm menstruating Lauren.
Right.
And then I have to, I understand that, and I
empathetic.
I'm empathic to that, even though I don't have that experience, but I understand feeling like shit and being out of juice. I get that. And then I just listened.
Yeah, you did such a good job of that. And I want to be sensitive to not use emotion to manipulate or control. Right?
And
Well,
you don't
get to be sad, so I'll be sadder.
Yeah, you don't manipulate me through emotion. You're highly emotional, and I love that about you. I don't feel manipulated through it. And also, say if I do, we'd have a conversation actually when the emotion is no longer there and the resiliency is high. So I'm not going to push into, even if I did feel manipulated, it would be a mistake for me to push in at that moment.
I just
for a lot of short-term implications and for a lot of long-term implications. Short-term, it would ruin our fucking Sunday. Long-term, it may ruin the week or something like that. Or we'd get to a place where we'd have to do a lot of heavy repairing, which I'm not interested in.
Yeah. I think I was able to share something with you at the kitchen table about that you two, best friend Em and you, are the two people on earth that I had resiliency for that night. That, because you said something like, do you want to cancel?
Do you want to cancel? Like, do you want to go back to work? Do you want to get into bed?
Yeah.
Like,
and
how do you want to take care of yourself?
I said, no, I think one of the things that I really could use right now is some juice from people I love.
Yeah.
And there's this interesting, I wonder if our audience would know this too. With a best friend, I can just like show up as me. Like,
correct.
I mean, it's okay. She knows my failures. She knows all of my things. And I knew I was sorting through if I had, I knew that if we showed up there and I was like, hey, we have to pivot. I ran out of time to do this, but I brought this vodka and we can make vodka margaritas. Or I have champagne instead. I knew she'd be like, great, that's fine. I love you. I wanted to see you. And so I was balancing all of these different expectations in my body after a day of balancing everybody's needs in my body. And that's why I need that mandatory decompression time so that I don't transfer.
Or to say, hey, I got zero resiliency. Can you pick me up on these things?
Yeah. Why do you think I have such a hard time with that? Why? Okay, so this is what happened. Earlier in the day, I was like, this is not going to take that long. I'm going to be done. I'm going to go to the pool on the way home. I'm going to get these things. No big deal. Like, it did not sound like too much in my head. What's code for she's done it again? She has underestimated the amount of time it's going to take her to complete this project because she loves her work so much and she gets lost in it. And now here we are back at the story we all know. How do I do that without, what do I do?
Are you asking for
yes,
me to
projecting.
push in? The
projector.
The professional logisticizer in me says you do those things before you go to the pool, especially if the place closes at 6. But like especially if there's a hard out for the ABC store on a Sunday.
Okay.
And then the other one is check in. If I'm at a 0 or a 1, I have to actually start taking things off my plate.
Okay.
And then is that scary? It could be in your mind, yeah, but then you check in with me. It's like, Trey, where you at? Okay. Or are you willing to do this? I ran out. And then, baby, if for me, I just own it, saying like, hey, I said I could do this. I fucking can't. Because I've done that before where I go, baby, I said I can go to the store for you. I can't. Or I can't do this right now. Communication? I think it'd be communication. Because I didn't know. But I didn't ask. But you know what? I don't want it to be my job.
Not on you.
I don't want to constantly check in with you or babysit your kind of energy state or check in with your emotions.
Good job.
Not like that.
It's not your job.
It's not my. I don't want it to be my job.
And that's why I'm inviting you to project in with your spidey senses of how I could, put some things around me because, I think we talked about this recently, like that double-edged sword. What are the pieces of us that are the best, but also the worst at the same time?
The one thing I could own is you are working on a Sunday, and I did know it was the start of your menstruation, where I was like, that's the one thing. Hindsight, just be a little bit more aware of.
Well, how about hindsight? I do the same thing. Okay, so that when you ask me for something, I can say, babe, that would be my biggest joy because I did what I did yesterday and hung out with my people. I'm having to do this today. I could try, but I don't know if it's going to be doable. So if you have the resiliency, you can, or we can just, yeah.
We had our conversation at the table, like the 5-minute conversation, and it was really pretty. And then we did like a co-regulating exercise. We did some hugging. We did some breathing. We had a lovely evening.
The best time.
We came home. We went to bed. And I think it was the next day or maybe Tuesday. It's Wednesday right now. Where you come to me.
It was Monday night. Yeah. Because I had been journaling about this all day, and you joined me at our favorite place. Yeah.
So it was 24 hours later where you're like, hey, that's not cool. Thank you. Honey, sometimes when you say, hey, I recognize that you're doing all this stuff around the house, and that particularly where that's not cool of me to do, which I agree.
It shouldn't, it should be known that, no, I need to take ownership. That's not okay.
Yeah. Thank you. That means a lot to me. And for me, actions are so much more important than words, but like those words, they mean a lot to me. And then when you say things, they get put into action.
Oh, yeah.
You're not a person that, you don't bullshit me, you don't lie to me, you don't manipulate me. And if you did, we'd get these cameras hot, and then we put a how-to on the...
How to bullshit and lie.
No, how to stop your person from lying. Anyway,
yeah.
Thank you.
No, I so deeply believe that there's always kind of like the human need deeper below something, right? Or there's a more creative problem to be solved. We're very like hardworking, creative individuals. It is not me against you. It is us against the situation. And I delight in creatively problem solving situations.
You also saying, hey, that's on me, it closes the loop. Where when we started this conversation, you go, what happened Sunday? Good. Good.
Yeah. Just not okay. Because it reminded me similarly of the weekend before. Yeah, I think it was just the weekend before of going up to be with J&J and you feeling overexerted there. And I was like, this is, Lauren, not okay. Like either, like Trey said, you have to stop saying yes to things at the end of a work week because you're just hurting people around you. And this is going to have to be tough. My ex-husband used to say tough titties. Tough titties because they would say this on the farm. I don't know. And it was like, well, tough titties. I need the audience to tell me whether or not this is a Southern saying and what it means, because he always said it had to do with like farm animals. Anyway.
I'm not comfortable saying titties around like other women other than you.
Yeah, he would just maybe this was sign number 1 that he was gay, is that he would just throw out the sign. He would just say tough titties all the time. Like, oh, well.
As a man that likes saying titties, like I like saying titties a lot, but I don't
I've never heard. Anyway, that was just a blast from the past. Like, Lauren, you want to own your own business? Yay. You want to have this flourishing business? Yay. You might need a custom boutique experience that you craft for yourself of an unwind time after clients.
Fuck yeah.
And just don't stop trying to be all things to everyone. It's okay. This is the thing that we mistakenly do, and me included, of, oh, well, I don't want to disappoint them. I'll come do this thing. No. What do I need instead? Like, I obviously was not a good friend, partner, all these other things because I was trying to overfunction. It doesn't actually help anybody get anywhere. It would be much better for me to be like, y'all, I love you. Nope. I want you to go. Mwah, have a great time, or drive your own car. I'll come join you later.
Yeah, that'd be very helpful. I'd
right.
admire that, honey.
Yes, because then I'm standing in my own needs, taking care of them, nurturing, and then showing up when I can give and be a part. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll check back in after this weekend and see if I do any better.
Love it.
Thanks for having this convo, though. Thank you. Again, I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry. That was not okay, and you're doing so well trying to ask for help.
Thanks, honey.
Thanks for coming to this episode of the Partnership Podcast with Lauren and Trey. Remember, these are our opinions and our opinions only. Do your own research. You have a right to informed decision making. If you want to work with a sexuality educator who talks about problems like these all the time, because sex isn't everything, it's just a part of everything, go to sexedforyou.com/free consult. Please make sure to like and subscribe and share this podcast with your loved ones. Have a great day. Bye, y'all.